You adjusted a bid yesterday because the numbers looked weak. The problem is, those numbers were from 3 days ago, and by the time you see what actually happened, you might have killed your best campaign. Hi, my name is Mike Din, Non-Din's AI avatar. Non and the Seller Labs team have written the script for this video. We've sold over $80 million on Amazon since 2012, and our platform downloads over 50,000 Amazon reports every single day. We're your guide to the AI revolution in e-commerce. If you like this, click like and subscribe so you don't fall behind while your competitors figure this out first. Amazon business reports run on a 48-hour delay. Advertising data takes 72 hours just to stabilize. And attribution, whether that ad click actually turned into a sale, keeps shifting for up to 14 days. A study of nearly 15,000 Amazon campaigns found that 1 in 20 had data swings large enough to completely change whether you'd raise the budget or cut it. That's not a reporting quirk. That's the foundation every decision you make is sitting on. And the best advice the PPC industry gives you right now? Wait. Wait 72 hours before you optimize. Don't touch your bids until the data settles. That's the ceiling. That's the best anyone has offered. Just be patient with your money. We're going to blow past that ceiling today. First, the delay isn't just about time. It's about fragmentation. Your sales data lives in business reports. Your ad performance is in the ads console. Your fees are scattered across payment reports. Your inventory sits somewhere else, and none of them agree with each other. One seller tracked the same day across 3 different Amazon reports. One said 8,400 in profit. Another said 7,900. A third said 8,100. 3 numbers, 1 day, no clarity. Every Amazon seller has felt this. You check your dashboard Monday morning and something doesn't look right. But you're not sure if the data is wrong, delayed, or just hasn't caught up yet. So you wait. You check again Tuesday. Maybe Wednesday it makes sense. By then you've spent 3 days of ad budget on gut feeling instead of evidence. You're not driving your business forward. You're steering by the rearview mirror. A PPC manager I spoke with, who runs campaigns across dozens of categories, put it simply. One of the biggest problems we have with Amazon is they give us data after a couple of days. His team built an entire custom dashboard to work around the delay. That's the kind of thing sharp sellers do. And it worked. They got the view they wanted. But what he saw next changed his perspective on what's actually possible. I showed him Claude Code connected to an MCP server and asked it to pull the traffic table grouped by SKU for last week. Then asked it to compare that to the previous week. It pulled the data, ran the comparison, and delivered the analysis. Not from a screenshot, from the actual Amazon data. If this is the kind of insight you want for your business, hit subscribe. We do this every week. For sellers who haven't seen this yet, Claude Code is an AI you run on your computer that can connect directly to your Amazon data through something called an MCP. You talk to it in plain English, it talks back with your real numbers. Try this. Pull every SKU I sold in the last 30 days. Show me the revenue, then subtract referral fees, FBA fees, and return costs. Now, take my total ad spend for each SKU and divide it by units sold to get the advertising cost per unit. Subtract that from the margin. Sort the whole list by the gap between what my margin looks like before ad spend and what it actually is after. Most sellers track margin in one place and ad spend in another. They've never seen them combined at the SKU level. When you do, products you've been reordering for months, the ones you swore were profitable. Some of them are bleeding money once we factor in the return rate and the cost of every click it took to sell 1 unit. No dashboard shows you this. No PPC tool combines these numbers for you. But your data already has everything Claude needs to calculate it. Now go deeper. Take my top 30 products, pull this week's sessions and conversion rate. Now pull the same calendar week last year and the 2 weeks before and after it. Show me which products are following last year's seasonal curve and which ones are more than 20% off. Tell me which direction, ahead of the pattern or behind it. This is the difference between reacting and understanding. A 15% drop in April might be perfectly normal for a seasonal product, or it might be a real problem hiding behind seasonal expectations. Week over week can't tell you which one it is. year over year with a seasonal window can. And most sellers have never run this comparison because building it manually would take longer than the insight is worth. Claude runs it in seconds. One more, and this one might sting. Show me my total ad spend for the last 3 days. For each campaign, pull the 1-day attributed sales and the 7-day attributed sales. Calculate the gap, the spend where conversions haven't fully reported yet. What percentage of my recent budget is sitting in the attribution blind spot? That's the number nobody talks about. The money you spent this week where you literally cannot see the results yet because Amazon's attribution window hasn't closed. If you've been adjusting bids based on the last few days of data, you've been optimizing a half-finished picture. This prompt shows you exactly how much of the picture is still missing. And once you see that number, you'll never make a same-day bid change the same way again. Sellers spend hundreds, sometimes thousands a month on tools that repackage the same delayed data into prettier formats. Those tools aren't bad, but they can't run calculations that don't exist inside their dashboards. The prompts you just heard, they work today, against your actual data, and they cost you nothing beyond connecting Claude Code to your Amazon numbers through an MCP. The data was always yours. It was just scattered, delayed, and locked behind dashboards that only showed you where you'd already been. A rear-view mirror when what you needed was a windshield. Now you can. What's the one number in your Amazon account you've been guessing at instead of checking? Drop it below. See you in the next one.